right. Hi, everybody. It's a crazy, rainy day. So today I thought we could talk about the elements, since one of them has decided that it's going to make an appearance. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. And my name is Angel Morgan. For those of you who don't know, that light is driving me nuts. I'm going to turn that off. Hang on a second. We're going to go like this instead. There we go. And I think that will be enough. We have enough light. Yes, we do. There we go. That's better. Okay, liking that way better. All right. So today we're going to talk about the elements and how they affect us energetically. This is actually one of my favorite topics because as a young energetic, it was one of the first things that I enjoyed playing with was air, water, fire, earth. And what does that mean to play with it? It means to explore them one by one. And I did this wonderful exploration with my mentor. And what we did was each week we did a different element and meditation with the element, all that kind of stuff to really explore it. And not just about the elements, but the elementals that went with that. And that's kind of a cool thing too, because everything has correspondences. So air is the color blue. So when we're talking about, or yellow, communication, anything like that, we can use a candle. My favorite was always to use yellow because I'm also Gemini. So there's a correlation there. When we talk about fire, obviously red comes to mind. Earth can actually be brown or black. And those are wonderful ones to work with when we're looking for grounding. Grounding is very important. So those ones are really great. And again, going back to fire, that one is wonderful. Ooh. Oh my. Thor is awake as the thunder clasps. And that's so funny because I just saw lightning and we're talking about fire, and fire is about passion of the heart, movement forward, active living, right? So that's really good if you're feeling really heavy. So we're talking about, for those of you, hey Patricia, how is ya? Oh dude, do you remember we were watching that television show and Chris Werlo came up and I said, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy. Went to a moot last night, went to a pagan pub moot. Chris Werlo was there. How ironic. And I love it when things like that come together, little synchronicities. 2 weeks ago, I saw someone I haven't seen in years and years and years and years and years on TV. And then last night, I actually saw him. And I love that. Now, how does that play into the idea of elementals and air and water and fire? Air, water, fire, and earth. And we haven't talked about water yet, but I'm all excited about this point. When we are in alignment, it means that our elements are in alignment. Earth, air, water, and fire create spirit, and spirit brings everything together. And when you have little synchronicities like that, like you see a friend, after years and years and years and years and years, you just happen to be watching TV and there he is. And then you see him 2 weeks later, there's a synchronicity there. There is an alignment there. And that means that you within are aligned. Now, going back to what we were talking about, earth, air, water, fire. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that we only have, oh, Patricia, I love you. But where is everybody today? People, come on. So earth, air, water, fire. Earth is all about, again, the brown candle and stability and feeling your feet on the ground. You can even carry stones with you when you're meditating on earth or meditating for stability. When we talk about fire, that one is all about, lighting candles, being under the sunshine and feeling that sunshine when we meditate or we go for walks or we do the things that we need to do. That one is all about vitality, energy, moving forward, being passionate about the things that we need to be, being passionate about life. And then we have water. And water, again, can be blue candle or white candle, either or. And when we talk about water and sea energy, we're talking about the emotions. So it could be about regulating emotions. Maybe you have really high emotions. You have a really high fire element in you. So maybe water wants to be a part of your life to help you kind of temper that. Water and fire are one and the same. They work together. They all work together, but those two are really, really funky together. It's really amazing. And then air for communication. That can be yellow or blue, because blue is the expression, right? So we can do that as well. And the elements correlate to the chakras as well, because remember, we're talking about staying in alignment. So when we look at the chakras, we're looking at from the root chakra, which is stability, that is red. That color is red. So this can be attributed to earth as well if we're working with a chakra element. So let's say we're doing a chakra meditation, stability, sense of security, all that kind of stuff. We can call in that element of earth and place that inside. And then we want to look at the next one, which is the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra, that's about creativity. That one is the womb. That's about movement forward. That's all about that kind of thing. So we're talking about water element. So orange can actually be working with water as well. We call in that element of water and place that into the sacral chakra. And then we're looking at manifestation, which is yellow. That one is a pretty obvious one, actually, and that's the sunshine. So we bring that into, down here, the solar plexus is what I meant to say. So you have the root chakra, you have the sacral chakra, you have the solar plexus, which is just in that space between your ribs. So we're talking about really bringing in that sunlight energy and that fire energy in here, and that's yellow. So we can work with that. And then we're going up into the heart chakra, which is green. And so we can use that element of the heart and of fire and passion and all of that kind of stuff into here. And then we're looking at the throat chakra. And the throat chakra, as we said with the candle, is blue. So we're looking at the element of air. I want to pull that one in here. And then we're looking at the third eye. And the third eye, we can consider spirit, intuition, all that kind of stuff. All of the elements are working up towards that. And then the Godhead, right? And we look at the crown chakra, which is also spirit. These two together are working, and this one is a lighter purple. So where you've got the indigo here, which is a very, very heavier and kind of juicier feeling, we have the lighter feeling up here, which is the violet. And this also can be air if we so choose it. So that is how the elements work with the chakras as well. So then when we look at all of this, we look at, again, the whole picture. We're trying to come into alignment. When your elements are in alignment, you are in alignment. And when you are in alignment, the whole world opens up to you. Right? We start making amazing choices in our lives. The doors start to open seemingly magically. The right people, the right places, the right circumstances start to come to us. So being in alignment not only looks at the chakras or the ley lines of our bodies, which we call meridians, it also talks about the elements. And that is so important. This is why we're always talking about drink water, drink water, drink water. Feel your feet on the ground. Talk about breathing and all that kind of stuff. So, and getting outside and feeling that sunshine. Because when we take in those elements, we're feeling good about our lives. We're feeling good about our bodies. We're feeling good about ourselves. And that's a really important aspect of being in alignment. Now, how does that work energetically on the psychic realm, on the intuitive realm, on our everyday realm? It gives us vitality. It gives us that energy that we need to get through our days, whether we're feeling overwhelmed or we're feeling joyful or we're feeling upset or we're just having a really active day with our families. When we're in alignment, everything is in balance and we're able to work with our energy and the energy of other people as well. And what I really like about elemental work is when we're in alignment, we can actually help others be in alignment. So if you have a child who is at home and maybe they're having a sad day or they're scared of the thunder and lightning, you can sit there and you can help them with the water element and the earth element, which is calming. And you can call that in. Right? You can call in whatever element is necessary to rebalance this child, right? So we take our left hand, we call in whatever element is necessary, and we feel that in our hand and we place that in the child. right? Or we teach the child how to do that for themselves. These things are really, really important. Does everybody think the show is at 11:30? Because the show starts at 11:11. Just so everybody knows, our show starts at 11:11. All right. So we've talked about the basics of elements and what they are: earth, air, water, fire, and spirit. That's that fifth one. If we look at symbols in throughout time and history, all of them actually work with the elements in some way. And a very typical one is my favorite one, which is the pentacle. The difference between the pentagram and the pentacle is the pentacle circle around it is about protecting those elements and bringing them into balance, whereas the pentagram, the 5 points, define the elements themselves. So again, earth, air, water, fire, spirit, right? And we are in the center of that where everything comes together. And that's what the pentagram actually looks like. And then the pentacle with the circle around it shows that protective area or the circle, and that encloses or balances everything out. So when you're looking for balance, you want the pentacle. That's what you want to be wearing in any sense. And most times that's what they sell too, is the pentacle. And that's a nature sign. So a lot of people look at the pentacle or the pentagram and they see, things that are associated with that might be a heavier energy. But the reality is it was originally used as a nature symbol to symbolize all of the elements in pagan cultures. We're talking about pagan cultures. We're talking about those who are, pagan really means the common dweller, right? One that's not part of the big five religions. So now that we've talked about that, what we can talk about where the elements are concerned is how do you utilize them in your life? This is a really cool topic. Because when we're talking about using elements in our lives, we can use it on an everyday basis. Okay. So I can call in the element of fire when I don't have energy to get up in the morning, or something is happening in my life that's draining me. So even people around me, it can help me to gain passion in a situation that I'm not passionate about. How many of us go to work and we're sitting there going, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Call in the element of fire. Expression is the air. And air is when we want to go to an interview. Maybe we have a document that we're presenting at work, or a school show that we're really nervous about. We want to call in air to help us express ourselves and communicate. Along with that, we might want to call in earth, and even with fire in those circumstances, earth to ground us. Well, I wouldn't actually do that, because if we're feeling really, really down and we're feeling really, really heavy, the last thing we want to do is to call in earth, because earth is going to ground us more. So when we're working with fire, we want to ramp that up a little bit. That means we have too much earth in us. With air, if we want that sense of communication, and maybe we're nervous and we're scared, maybe we have a little too much fire energy going, yes, then we want to bring in a little bit of earth. Feel it. Right? Feel it. If we're overly emotional about something specific in our lives, then we want to maybe call in a little bit of earth. That's when earth is necessary. When emotions run high, we're in crisis situation, or there's a fire, or there's, somebody who's freaking out, or you have 3 kids who are like yelling at you in 10 different ways because they're all having a day, right? You want to have that earth element that's going to really ground you. Patricia, air has always been the one I have trouble with. Yeah, me too. That's actually a really good point. And I'll get to that in a second. So we covered air, we covered earth, we we need to cover air. No, air we talked about, earth we talked about, fire we talked about, water. We need to call on water when we're feeling the doldrums, when we're feeling like we can't connect to our emotions. That's a good time. When you want to cry, but you don't know how to cry, or maybe we're so emotional that we're just like, okay, I need to call in a little bit of water to rebalance. Like moonstone, perfect rebalancing as well. So even though we're calling in earth, if we are feeling highly emotional and that kind of stuff, when water comes in, we can also temper that, right? We call in the element of water to help us regulate the emotion, calm waters. And we're going to talk a little bit about which element you want to call in for which situation. But Patricia, that's a good point. Air has been a really hard one for me too. So your zodiac signs actually connect to this as well. So air signs, right? Like Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. We have the hardest time working on grounding. And I find that working with the air element is really difficult for me. And the earth element is difficult for me. So expression isn't hard, but reining in that expression can be. Sometimes I don't have a filter. Sometimes my words don't come out eloquently. This is when earth really is one that we want to work with, or that we don't want to sit in our element. So if we're an air sign, I don't want to sit in that element. I don't want to sometimes, right? I don't want to speak. I don't want to. So I have a hard time and I close off that chakra, right? So what we want to do is want to work on that chakra to help us open up that element. If you're having a hard time with the air element, say, as Patricia was saying, we can call in that element to help us with whatever it is we need, or even to open up to that element. I call in the element of air to help rebalance it so I can open up to that element. Where fire is concerned, people are angry or overly passionate, people who just can't seem to control those emotions because they're always on high. They're really intense people. They're so hyper focused and all that kind of stuff. For those fire elements, like I believe Leo is a fire element. What we want to do is we maybe want to call in a little bit of earth, or we want to call in fire to rebalance that. We want to call a little bit of water to rebalance that. And if you don't know what element to call in for your zodiac to rebalance your zodiac sign, I call in whatever element is necessary to rebalance my zodiac sign. Okay, that's really, really important. Kelly Longhart says, I was told to listen to the grass. I will hear my husband. Yeah. So when we want to connect to loved ones who have crossed over, everyone thinks it's the air element that we want to connect to. It's not. It's actually the earth, because the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, she cradles us. And when we're in that place of center, we're in that place of stability and grounding, that opens up to the other world. Now, there are those who have asked me, how do you connect to fairies and the wee folk and the forest folk? That's actually air. Funny enough, we want the speed as we speed, or sorry, I'm so wrong about that. It's earth, because as we slow down, and the slower we go, the slower we go, the deeper we go, the deeper we go, the slower we make our heartbeat, the faster we get into that element of air, which is really fast and really quick. So everybody thinks that it's air that we need to connect to in order to connect to the wee folk. It's not, it's earth. I did a drumming session once and I was alone, and the drum kept getting slower and slower. My heartbeat getting slower and slower. And the next thing I knew, this curtain opened and I walked into this place, and all of these tiny little, I kid you not, it was a vision, but it wasn't a vision. I was there, and it was like these little wee folk, and they were so cool. And it lasted about 30 seconds before I realized that this was actually happening, and I kind of came out of it, right? But it was that slowing down of the heartbeat. So if you want to connect to the earth, drumming is a great instrument. Okay, the flute is a great instrument for the air. For the heart is the harp. The harp is a wonderful one if you want to connect to that. Any kind of string instrument actually is very much the heart center. For fire, I'm unsure. I don't know what fire would be. I'm unsure. And everybody attributes the harp to water, but it's actually heart center. And for the water, I believe is, oh my goodness, I used to know this one. Oh, do you know what? It escapes me. But musical instruments for the water. Oh, if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Put it in the comments. I would love to know because it's escaping me at this moment. Elements and elementals. So creatures are also a correspondent to these particular elements. So the salamander is fire. Actually, do you know what? I have a really great book here that I would recommend everybody get. Oh, where is it? Hang on one second. I'm going to go get it because it's my favorite book and I work with it all the time. Hold on. This is an absolutely wonderful book. I recommend everybody go grab this book. It is called The Complete Book of Correspondences. Everything you want to know about correspondences is in this wonderful book. When we talk about elements, and we're going to go here, Northwest, winter, Yule, celebrations, sun, moon, Neptune, like it's got everything in this thing. Like this is amazing, this book. Elements, elementals. Let's see, where are we? Elements. Nope. Oh, come on, where are you? Elements. My elements are, come on, usually I find it so effortlessly. Magical beings and spirits. Like it's got everything in here. Gods, deities and other beings, porcupine. Maybe it's further back in here. Optimism, knowledge, like all these correspondences if you want to do any kind of work. Oh, here we are. Boom. Landed right on it. So air, these are the correspondences. Trees, acacia, alder, apple, ash, aspen, cedar, chestnut, elder. Herbs in the garden, agrimony, bergamot, mugwort, marigold, yarrow. Miscellaneous plants, star anise, nutmeg, sandalwood, eyebright. There are lots of them here, so I'm only going through a few. Gemstones and minerals. Angelite, quartz, which is a great one. Quartz is a great one because it's an amplifier, so you can hold that in your hand and it actually raises your vibration. Opal, moldavite. Everybody knows I love moldavite. Metals, aluminum, mercury, and tin. Goddesses, Amaterasu. I've never heard of her. I'm going to go and see her. Athena is the goddess of air. Arianrod, Hera, Newt. It's spelled nut, but it's Newt. And Phoebe, gods. Hermes, the messenger, obviously. Mercury, Quetzalcoatl of the Aztec. Thoth, he is the scribe. So remember that air is of the writers. Yes. Magical creatures, elves, fairies, pixies, sylphs. Angels, Michael and Raphael. Insect is the firefly, so that represents air. The animal is the gazelle, which I like. I never thought of that. Birds of the air are albatross, condor, eagle, falcon, hawk, and seagull. I love the seagull. Seagull medicine is all about getting past your limitations. Love that. Mythical creatures, dragon, sphinx, and thunderbird. Ritual tools if you're pagan or you are on this path. Athame, incense, and sword. The senses is smell, which makes sense. So if you're looking at intentions and things, so intentions are, you want to work with a sense of acceptance, go to air. Taking action, go to air, and that's also fire. Astral realm, going into your psychic abilities. Beginnings, business. So yeah, so when you want to go to beginnings, if you look at the circle and all the different directions, in the east is about communication, and that's air. So air is the east. Earth. Let's move into Earth. Oh, this is fun. Oh, Courtney, hi, Court Smith. How are you? Renee St. John is here. How are you? Everybody thought it was 11:30. Yeah, so the show starts at 11:11. Every week on Tuesday. So it starts at 11:11. Now everybody is showing up. We're doing elements, everybody. We're doing elements, elementals, all that kind of stuff. We just started with air. We're going to go with Earth. Earth, the symbol of the solar systems are Earth, Saturn, and Venus. We're looking at Earth Day celebrations, the hunting of the wren, and Yule is Earth as well. Time of day for Earth is midnight. The runes are East, Tyr, Ur. The colors are black, brown, as we talked about before, green, and white is a catch-all. So if you don't know what color to use for candles or for anything that we're talking about, always go with white. So as a recap, what we were talking about is earth, air, water, fire, and spirit, bringing it all together. We were talking about how to call in the elements. I call in whatever element is necessary for me. Yes? And we breathe that in. We talked about the chakra system. So the root chakra is earth. The sacral chakra is water. The solar plexus is air, is not air, sorry, is fire. The heart chakra, earth, water. This is the heart chakra, which is fire, right? So this is air, is earth, water, air, fire, manifestation. I can't remember now. Is air is the intuitive ability, which is indigo, and then also air here. Hang on. Let's see. Let's go over here because I had it before. Chakra and elements. Let's see. Elements, earth, air. There we go. So here we go. The root chakra is earth. The sacral chakra is water. The solar plexus is fire. And the heart chakra is air. So going over that again, root is earth, sacral is water, solar plexus is fire, and the heart chakra is air. You have to love the internet for these little things. Absolutely adore it. So we talked a little bit about that. We talked a little bit about how you can work with the elements. So you guys can go over that in the first half of the show. So now we're looking at the correspondences of these particular elements. So earth, the tarot card is pentacle. So if you're working with your tarot cards and you're doing a meditation, go grab the pentacle and hold the pentacle with your meditation and maybe a lapis lazuli in your hand, because I know that's one of the stones for earth. Close your eyes and just focus on grounding, focus on stability, focus on the pentacle and what that means. Trees, ash, blackthorn, cedar, cypress, elder, elm, holly, juniper, locust. The herb in the garden, fern, honeysuckle, ivy. And you see, I have lots of ivy here because I have a hard time with grounding. That's a big one for me. Metals, lead and mercury. From the sea, coral is earth. And that's interesting because that's actually my favorite color is coral. I never made that connection. So where it comes to sea items for the earth, you want to work with coral. This is black coral. So not orange coral, black coral. Angels is Gabriel and Uriel. Goddesses, Ariadne, Artemis, Ceres, Demeter, Gaia, the earth. I'm going to add one to that, Persephone, and I'm going to add Pachamama. So in South America, we call the earth Pachamama, and calling on her is very important. Magical deities, brownies, dryads, elves, fairies, gnomes, and pixies. So if you noted, fairies are also of the air. So just understand that there are crossovers, okay? There will be crossovers. Birds, crow, sparrow, swan, turkey, the goose. The chicken is considered an earth creature too. Doesn't really fly, so that does make sense. Reptiles, crocodile, one of my favorites, absolutely one of my favorites, belongs to Olosa. Snake. And what is mine? I'm the snake, baby. So the reason I'm going through this is to show you that these are all elements that you can utilize for yourself. You call in the element of earth. These are the elements that you're calling in to ground. You call in the element of air. Those are the elements that you're calling in to ground. You see a snake. It may show you, you know what? I need grounding right now. I need to release something right now. So knowing all of this is really, really important. And notice, I'm going to a book. Yeah, I have knowledge, but we don't all have all knowledges. It's good to know, to have something like this. And as I said, this is my favorite book of the complete book of correspondences by Llewellyn. Now we're looking at fire. Fire is Jupiter, Mars, and the sun. The time of day is midday. The direction is south. The colors are gold, orange, red, yellow, white. Again, white's going to be in every one of them. The chakra is the solar plexus. The tarot, judgment, swords, and wand. The trees are alder, oak, olive, palm. Oh, funny. I just took olive Bach remedy this morning. So you can use Bach remedies as well. Everything has a correspondence to an element. Willow is the one of tears. So that one is going to be water, right? It's the one that is the crossroads. It's one for feelings of forgiveness, which is also very important when it comes to working with water element. You're working on a forgiveness, or you're on the journey of forgiveness. Willow tree is the tree you want to work with. Willow Bach remedy is the one you want to work with. Water element is the one you want to work with. Okay, these are good ones because it's heart-centered. Plants, allspice, cumin, deer's tongue, black cohosh, frankincense. And it's really interesting when we talk about, like, when we're looking at like the Scottish play in Shakespeare, there is a wonderful speech by the three witches, by the Fates, and they talk about all these different things, right? Ear of this and tongue of bat and blah, 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 blah. And what they're talking about are actual plants. So deer's tongue is a plant, but it can also, sound really witchy. Oh, we need to work with some deer's tongue tonight. We're not talking about the actual deer's tongue. Eye of newt, right? That's a big one in witchcraft. They're talking about an actual plant, people. It's a plant. All right. Again, here we go. Fire from the sea, coral. So earth was coral, but black coral. And for fire, it's red coral. And again, it's one of my favorite colors. Gemstone and minerals, agate, bloodstone for fire. Bloodstone is also known as the witch's stone. Calcite, orange is a really good one, or red, but orange is my favorite. Opal for fire. Obsidian is really good for fire as well, because we're cleansing and clearing. What is fire all about? It's about purification. We're purifying. Debbie, hello. Late again, lost and still heavy about bubbles. Well, of course, you just lost her. Come on. Lewis, hello. Amber, hello. Good morning. Let's see, who else do we have? We started 11:11, guys, so I know some of you might have thought it was 11:30. That's okay. We're looking at now the water element. Oh, yeah, and just before we finish the fire element, the intentions for fire is action, defense magics. We're talking about sexuality. We're talking about intuition. We're talking about motivation and passion. We're talking about confidence, concentration, all of these things, blessings. But mostly, I love the idea of really heart-centered motivation. Okay, that's a big thing. Empowerment is fire. Water. We're looking at Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We're looking at the solar systems of the moon, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn. Autumn is the season of water. Let's see. Energy is yin energy. So you also have the yin and the yang. You have 4 elements that are yin, or 2 elements that are yin, 2 elements that are yang. So fire is a yin energy, and water is a yin energy, earth is a yin energy, and water is a yin energy. Fire and air are the yang, or the male energies. Okay, so again, water and earth are yin, fire and air are yang. Numbers are 2 and 7 for water. Colors are black. In feng shui, it's actually black for the element of water, blue, green, so the sea, like sea moss and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got the trees, alder, apple is for water. I like that one. Magnolia, yew trees, witch hazel is for water as well. The sycamore, olive, poplar. Herbs and gardens, aster, blackberry, lily, monkshood is for water. Monkshood, now that's a baneful herb, right? So this is a poisonous herb. So we're talking about all kinds of different things. And it's funny, miscellaneous plants, belladonna. So water is really attributed to some of the baneful herbs, because I was looking at the other ones and they didn't have the baneful herbs. There's a new one on me. Water is attributed to the baneful. Now, having said that, water is also the west. And when we talk about west, where fire is the south and earth is the north and air is the east, water is the west. And the west is all about death. It's all about transition. It's all about creation beginnings and endings, mostly endings, right? So we're looking at death. We're looking at, tears. The willow is attributed to that. Hecate is the queen of the West and the queen of the witches. So yeah, actually the baneful herbs do make sense now that I think of it. 25 years. See, we're always learning something new. Amber says, maybe a stupid question, but if this is live, does the subtitle show what you're saying before you say the words? LOL. The whole sentence comes up, but you might pause before you say the next word, but the next word is already there. Oh, that's bizarre. No, it shouldn't actually do that. So maybe there's something with the captions that's happening. I will look at that later. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I'm using a third party. I'm using BeLive, but I'll only be using it for next week or two. I'm switching platforms. So that's probably what it is. So I'm saying it on BeLive and you're catching it and it's not quite in alignment. So thank you for letting me know, Amber. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's because I'm using a third party app, but that's going to be changing soon. Gemstones, and that's not a stupid question. There is never a stupid question, people. Never, never, never. I am taking, Amber Meyer says, love the elements. Yes, I do too. And then our final one, which is water. So we're going to talk about, oh, wait a second. Is it water? Yeah, it is water. So we're talking about water. So magical is mermaids, the Norns. So the Norns in different cultures are the Fates, which can be earth. So the Norns are the Fates. So the beginnings, the middles, and the ends. This is the Weird Sisters in the Scottish play. They're the ones who tell us the past, the present, and the future. So in different cultures, it's different names. Angel is Raphael for the water. The insect, again, interesting. For the air, it was dragonfly. For water, it's dragonfly as well. Mythical is dragon for the water. And the Selkies. I know what a Selkie is. Pretty sure I know what a Selkie is. What's a Selkie? Let's look at the Selkies. Let's go, babies. What is a Selkie? Selkie. Selkies. Oh, that's a dress company. Hold on a second. A Selkie, mythological creatures that can shapeshift between seal and human form. Yes, that's right. And Sedna, who is the goddess of the seals and the sea, is attributed to the Selkies. She created that. So that's actually a rather tragic story. I would definitely go and check her out. But yeah, Sedna is the goddess of the seas. She's the goddess of the water. She's the goddess of the seals. And that's what the Selkies are. They're seals that can shapeshift to human and human that can shapeshift into seals. So Sedna is one of those. That's where I've heard it before. The blackbird, the crane, the dove is of the water. See, I thought that would have been of the air, but it's not. The duck, which makes sense. The heron, one of my favorite ones. Reptiles, crocodile, frogs, salamander. Salamander is also fire, by the way. Crocodile, again, we saw the crocodile with the earth. So there is some overlap. All right. So those are all of the some of the correspondences. There are tons in this book. And again, my favorite book, go and grab it. You can grab it on Amazon. Correspondences for everything. If you're doing candle work and candle magic, which is actually going to be next week's show, stay tuned for that because that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing candle magic and ways you can utilize candle. All right. So as I promised, we're going to do something every single week based on the show that we're doing. So today we're going to realign our elements. So what I want you to do is I just want you to close your eyes quickly. Take a breath in. Ask that all of your elements be rebalanced. Earth, air, water, fire. I want you to focus on the element of air, the element of the east. I want you to call in the seagull. The seagull is about going beyond your limitations. We ask that the east bring forth our voice. We ask that the east take us beyond our limitations for the rest of this year, that we may feel the expansion of 2024 and beyond. We ask that those of the East protect our voices, fill us with that energy, that we may move swiftly, easily, and effortlessly through our lives and all lives to come. We call in the energy of the South and fire. And in calling in this energy, we call purification. Purify us of anything that is a disruption in our mind, body, and soul, in our spirits. Purify us of anger. Purify us of imbalance. Purify us of dis-ease. Purify us of sadness. Purify us of the old to bring in the new. And then we breathe in that air to balance us with the fire. We ask that these two elements be balanced within us. We move now to the west and to the water. We ask that we be heard, all of our sons and all of our daughters. We ask that our emotions be always in balance, but that we may touch the depths of them. We ask that our emotions and our feels be heard by the universe, that we manifest easily and effortlessly, that we may always sit in the truth of our feel. What do we truly feel in that well of emotions? That we may bring those forward into manifestation. That we may always easily move from that world of intuition into this world to manifest all that we desire. And that in the water and the west, we sit with the mother. We sit in the womb as her child and always in balance with fire and air. And we ask that we be balanced with these two elements, air and fire, with our water. As we move into earth and Pachamama, the mother whose arms that we sit in each day, whose body we walk on gently with each footfall. We ask her to hold our feet in her hands, that we may walk on her earth, grounded in every way, aligned in every way, stable in every way, that our material world feels strong in every way, our physical being be strong in every moment, and that we are aligned with emotions of the water, that we be purified always with fire, and that we may speak our truths with air, and that these three elements be balanced within us and grounded within us, that we may be the great oak tree, bending but not breaking. And now that these four elements are come together, we stand back in air and we call on spirit, our spirit, that we stand in the center, that we stand at the top of these elements, that they're brought all together within us. Air to speak, fire to love and move forward, water to bring forth our emotions in balance, forgiveness at every moment, and earth to feel grounded in all. Feel those elements within you, dancing, lit, joyful. Take a breath in and a breath out. Open your eyes, knowing that you're fully in balance. How does that feel? Comment for me. How are you feeling right now? Hi, Wendy. You just made our meditation for today. It's not always going to be a meditation, but today is. This is something that you can do every day. And if you're really busy and really, really quick, before you open your eyes, just call in your elements. Before you open your eyes in the morning, I ask that all the elements within me be rebalanced. Yes, that I be fully in balance, earth, air, water, fire. Use whatever words you need to use, okay? Therefore, you. This is how we work with the elements. And remember, this earth is a living thing. Air is a living, breathing thing. Fire is living. I have a wonderful story about Ari comes to me, says Debbie Marca. You're welcome. A wonderful story about fire and water. When I was very young, I went to Guatemala and I was with these medicine people, and they told me in the fire, we did a ceremony, and I saw in the fire that water and fire were one and the same. And it wasn't just about the elements, it was about the fact that I am a North American, and the North Americans and the South Americans, we work together. There's even a prophecy that when the fire comes to the north and the water comes to the south, the world will be at peace. When the south comes to the north and when the north comes to the south, we are in balance. And in 2012, we actually had the Munai-Ki rites, which helped to rebalance. And we saw a lot of medicine people from South America coming here to anchor us on this side of where we are now and help move us into this time of intuition and energetic living. So I was shown in the fire that earth and water and fire were one and the same. Well, last year I was privileged enough to be at what's known as a conjure camp, which I will be at again. It's happening August 22nd to the 22nd to the 24th. So I will put that information in. And if you guys want to be there, it's in the Niagara Falls area, and it's going to be really, really wonderful. But I was there last year. And last year, the whole weekend was dedicated to water. And God, it was raining. The gods of water decided to descend upon us. Well, on the last day, on the Saturday, we did a wonderful ceremony to Olosa. And Olosa is the goddess of the swamps. And I'm already connected to the goddess of the oceans and the rivers, Yamaya and Oshun. I didn't know there was a goddess of the swamps. And so when Olosa came forward, one of the things that I was shown was something massive, because as the bonfire was lit and as it licked the air, it began to lightly rain. And it didn't put out the fire. But even as I'm speaking, it was such an emotional thing for me to watch the water and the fire working together. And it was just the most beautiful sight to see this beautiful, huge bonfire and sit in the beauty of the trickling rain, standing and sitting on the earth, and breathing that all in. In that moment, all the elements were visible to me. They were physical. They were there. I could feel the earth. I could smell the smoke in the air. I could see the fire and the water working together. It was magic personified. And when we get those moments in life, they are things that are remembered not only in our mind's eye, but in our bodies. And every time I go back to that, I can feel the elements, like I can feel the energy coursing through my veins. So always take moments like that and register them. Be still in them, because that's how we build muscle memory, cellular memory. Okay, that's how we take it in. That's how we create that. That history is now in me and will be in 7 generations of my own family, right? And now in you by telling you the story. Sharon DeReich says, "You are a great teacher and I honor the ritual and rites you gave me." Oh, thank you so much, Sharon. I believe that you were actually part of that Munai-Ki so long ago. I feel so old. Oh my God, I feel so old. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly appreciate all of you. I think you are wonderful. If you have any questions or any comments, please put them in the comment bar. If you have any questions, I'll give a few minutes to anything psychic that you want to ask. I smell something burning. It's not in my house, though. Must be someone else. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I will spend a few minutes doing that. Okay? No questions today? Okay. So today is a teaching day. Join me next week, because we're going to be doing candle magic, candle ceremony, candle rites. This today was a setup for next week. So we're going to be working with candles. I'm going to bring some candles. We're going to work with oils. We're going to work with herbs. We're going to go through the whole gamut. For those of you who just joined us, this is a great book of correspondences. If you want to get this book, we're going to be working with it a lot on these lives. You can get it on Amazon.com or Amazon.ca. Absolutely love this. I will always have books to recommend each week. We're also going to do a protections class and a clearing class again, because I did it before, but I think it's worth doing again, because, there are a lot of new things that come up in each each live. But for next week, be ready. We're going to be doing candle magic. So if you want to bring a little white candle with you, you are more than welcome. If you know the candle of your birthday correspondence, feel free to bring that, because we're going to do something very personal and very for you. All right, we're going to see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. 11:11 people, not 11:30, 11:11. That is when this show starts every week. So see you next week at 11:11 on Tuesdays. Talk to you soon. Bye, loves.